Hi, I'm Sam from South Bank Property. Welcome back to episode 2. We've found a bunker. Welcome back to Manor Flat 1. It is still a flat because we don't have a staircase yet, but that is on the way and it will be here this week, hopefully. And a lot has happened since the last video. We've got the house clear, we've got the garden clear, internal walls have started going up, we're ready for the staircase, and we've even found a bunker in the garden. Let's go and have a look. That door's locked, we'll have to go around the back. Not a huge amount of change in here. We've knocked all the plaster off the wall, so obviously that's revealed the quite dodgy looking lintels that have sagged over time. We're putting a patio door here, so that's not such a problem. This one, we're undecided what to do with yet, because obviously if we take the lintel down, it's going to disturb all the brickwork and it's likely all going to fall. Obviously the plaster's come off here, we've exposed from this wall, which is very bitty, very loose, you know, just like literally falling apart. But this is the wall that's coming down, so obviously it's got to go down eventually, but we've got to secure the stonework because the steel's going to sit on that. But I think what the engineers said is we've got to build it up in engineering brick and then the steel will sit on top of that on a pad stone as well. The door, I don't think we're going to be able to keep just because it's a bit in the way of the kitchen. We've had a slight discovery in the top corner, which I'll show you. It's an old cottage. All of these beams have been reinforced because if you look at the very end where they go into the wall, they've been chopped off or just rotted out. So they've just broken over time and snapped. And they're all reinforced apart from these two that are basically rotted at the ends. So they're not really being held up by anything and they're not reinforced either. So I think if you had some serious weight on this corner, you might well go through it. So we're gonna have to put some reinforcements back into the brick there on those two. And then we'll probably do the rest of them on this side as well, just so they're all solid. Probably the biggest change in the house is this room, which will be sort of the hallway and entrance to the kitchen diner. So we've got a first stud wall up, which is going to be the snug area. And then in this gap is going to be sort of hallway continued down to the right and then staircase on the right here on this wall where it comes in. I'm going to have a little toilet and sink at the back under the stairs. So this is the snug. Feels a bit small at the minute. I think probably because we've got a whole load of insulated plasterboard here. It's just going to be cozy, I think. I was going to do a media wall, but I think it's just a bit small for that because it'll come out quite a way. So as you can see, these frames are probably 10 centimetres away from the wall. But they're flush at the bottom. So the walls, when we put the laser level on, the wall was literally out by 10 centimetres at the top, which is not good. And he was going to build it up with concrete to reinforce it, but he just said it's going to take too much time, so we just did a timber frame instead. And we're putting some soft insulation behind in the gap, and then we've got some solid stuff to go in between the frame, basically. So the staircase is going on this wall. Obviously, it's screwed to the wall. Should come back to about here. I didn't want it too close to the front door, so you just got enough room to kind of come round to the hall. You'll have your little shoe storage, coat storage under the stairs and a toilet at the back, so you want a little bit of space to come round. But then the first step should be about a foot in from the door. This corner is not 90 degrees, it's more acute, I think. Is that the word? Thinking about GCSE maths. So we've had to bring it forward slightly and just think about the extra length. So it'll sit off the wall, but you won't notice. I think we're going to hide it with plasterboard upstairs. There was the original water tank here. So the water tank that fed the heater for the tank for the downstairs flat. That's obviously been taken out because we're having a whole new system. It's just open joist at the minute, but we've got to get the staircase sorted with the hole. That's just going to be new floorboards. And then this will be knocked through in the end. So it will just, looking here, it should just be an open kitchen diner from here soon. Front door's also going to be replaced, but it's got to be duck egg blue, like the current. And a surprising amount of places do not stock duck egg blue. So I'm trying to find a duck egg blue door because I'm going to get both front and back to match. This is the main bedroom, all change in here. We've stripped everything back, the ceiling's gone, all the plaster's been taken off, all the roof's been pulled down, so we've extended the roof joists here to fit some insulation in the middle. This kind of brickwork is quite loose. We're just tidying that up basically. All of this down here was very loose. So we're filling this with concrete just to solidify it basically, and that window will be replaced as well. This was a little stud wall coming out because the old kitchen was here for the upstairs flat. We discovered inside the wall that the beam here has been sliced 3/4 of the way through. So there's I don't know what happened, there's a cut mark here. And according to the structural engineer, this beam is holding the roof together, basically stopping it from splaying open. A big change in the main bedroom is the fireplace behind me. I'll switch to this side. Right up there, where we've got the chimney, we demolished the whole fireplace chimney stack. We've had to keep the chimney stack on the roof because we're in a conservation area. We can't change anything without planning. But I like the chimney, we're keeping that. But it's just caused us a bit of headache because the chimney was sticking out from the wall a little, so we've had to just make a lintel solution and sort of support the side of the chimney stack, basically outside. They've pulled the rest of the chimney breast out. The original plan was to kind of fill this gap with concrete, but this was a whole ton bag of ballast that it took mixed with concrete, mixed with cement, so it's going to be very heavy sitting on the steel below. We've done the first one, so that can stay as like a solid foundation, but we're just going to do a sort of block work, get some light blocks, sort of like how they've put these, but in block form. Down here, if you remember, was where the fire started, so the socket was literally on this wall. But what we've done now is kind of built this out, so it's flush with what was the chimney breast, and they're just smoothing it over, popping concrete, because a lot of the mortar in the stone was very loose, so it literally just crumble out. Like you can see all of this, it's literally just powder, and sticking any plasterboard or bonding to that, it will just pull it straight off. So we just spread concrete all over the walls, acts as like a damp barrier as well, and it means we can bond the plasterboard. Oh, that is wet. That is wet. But yeah, we can bond the plasterboard to the wall, and it should be strong enough not come out. Sam was here. This we're going to try and keep as a floor-to-ceiling window, maybe half of this doorway, because obviously you don't need, that'll be gone, this platform. We bought some new Veluxes because we bought an electric version. The frame is thicker, so because these are quite old, they're quite a thin frame, and now we've just had to try and modify the roof, but maybe Alex can tell us more.
Yes. Today installing these windows, Velux, this Velux, plastered this wall. Next 2 hours I starting installing the floor.
Yep.
And
so this flooring will be coming up.
Yes.
And then we've got new floorboards with foam.
With isolation and phonic isolation.
On the right there, we see we've just cut some of the joists, cut the original frame out, and we're just making a new hole for the new frame. Basically, it's slightly bigger. This is all new. This was the old bathroom. I'd be stood in where the bath was. The bath was here. It's now going to be the top of the landing where the stairs come up. So on this wall from downstairs, your stairs are going to come up. Just have to be careful because I might fall through the floor. You come up the stairs and you'll be at the top here, turn left on the landing and carry on down the landing. The original wall, obviously you can see, was here. We've just moved it over sort of a foot just to give a bit more space on the landing, basically. So it's not going to be hugely wide. It's probably going to be about 900 mil. Obviously this was the doorway to the bathroom, and somebody's cut the doorway out of the main roof structure, which is lovely. And you can see what sort of width the roof, the main joist is holding on to. So it's about 1 inch thick now from about 10 inches. Obviously it's a big job to replace the whole thing. The structural engineers just come up with a solution of getting steel plate, 800 wide steel plate along here, screwed in at multiple points. This is bedroom 2. This window is going to be replaced because it's single glazed timber frame and very rotten from the outside. This side, we had the old airing cupboard, so the floor's kind of where leaks have happened over time and water's got, so the floor's kind of just dissolved. And then this airing cupboard, where we've pulled out the wall here, is just going to be part of the bedroom. Give that a kick. This is the 3rd bedroom, so smallest of the lot because we've moved this wall slightly. Not really much to do in here, to be honest, because it was all smoke damaged. The ceiling is still a little bit, but we should be able to skim over that and it'll be fine. The windows got one broken pane, which we can just replace the glass, so it's not a big issue really. The frame's going to stay because it's PVC double glazed already. Yeah, so the whole thing's been flattened effectively, chopped the big trees down and all the bushes throughout the middle because these were two separate gardens. So we've got obviously new addition toilet, which is quite important for team morale, if you know what I mean. I spent a good half a day hosing it down and getting rid of the cobwebs, but it does the job. Outbuildings started the new roof, so we're just waiting for the tiles, which should be delivered today. Changes at the front then, we've blocked up the outside toilet, and this was a sort of coal shed garage area. We don't really know what it was used for, but we've bricked that up, and that's now going to be an internal ensuite. And then we've bricked up the other entrance here, ready for a new window that's just going to be the same size as the other side. So we've now cut a hole internally for an ensuite. So this is just going to be a fourth bedroom effectively with its own ensuite. Some little cooking facilities because we might let it separately as its own Airbnb, and then just a double bed and like a little studio really. This area was covered in leaves and wood, and there was an old shed here that was rotted into the ground. And we discovered this concrete block, and I was like, what's this? Lifted this up, it turned out to be like a little ladder down to somewhere. So we'll just have a look. Oh fuck, no, take it. It's actually quite heavy. We can get it, we can do it, okay. Well, that worked. So we found a bunker. There's only one thing to do. Let's go and explore. Is that cringy? That felt cringy. Ugh. I feel like I'm gonna get eaten alive. Cobwebs. Oh, we're here. We're it. This is it. It's not a bunker. It's simply a drainage chamber. Wow. So all we've got is just some drainage, some sewer pipes. It probably is not even sewer. I think that's rainwater drain from the gutters, and that's all that it is. Pretty much it. Found out a bit more from a neighbour that was passing, and I invited them in to have a look. The old boy that lived here, or lived upstairs anyway, was actually a butler at the manor house across the way, and he worked there for like 30, 40 years and was given a life tenancy by the owner, by Lord and Lady Wardington, who owned the building. So I bought it from their family, but I bought it from the daughters because they've passed away now. The guy did actually pass from as a result of the fire, which I found out. So, but that was smoke inhalation, not directly from the fire. The neighbour downstairs called the fire brigade on the night because they thought, well, the story that the neighbours told me, they were saying, oh, why did he light a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning? And I said, well, if you look at the smoke, I don't think he lit a fire. It was electrical from the socket. So check back to the previous video, you'll see the electrical socket where it started, but they thought he lit a fire, but he didn't. So I think he would have been in bed, inhaled the smoke, went to hospital for 2 to 3 weeks, and then passed after that, yeah. Yeah, so apparently when these neighbours were here, there was a fire at the manor house, probably 10, 15, 20 years ago now. Lord Wardington had the largest collection in the UK of atlases and Bibles, or the most historic, dating back to times when they thought dragons were roaming the earth. And there's like one of one books in there, and I think huge collection. And the fire brigade, when they had a big fire there, they said, do you want to save the house or the books? And they chose the books because the house can be rebuilt, but they wanted to save that collection because it was so mega. And so they created a line. They were passing the books to each. Well, I guess the firefighters were doing that rather than putting the fire out, just saving the books. And after the Lord and Lady died, they went to sell them at auction for 8 million. And some of them were sort of one of one. Yeah, I think there was one book in particular that went for £1 million on its own. So there's a lot of history there and here with the butler living upstairs. So I'm glad I bought it. It was a good purchase, and trying to keep as much of that history alive as we can. What we've been doing this week,
This week, construction this wall, this partition. I plastered this wall here. I isolate this wall in this area. Next few days, I starting demolish this wall. I put the beams. Upstairs, I installing Velux.
Yeah.
I plastered one wall. And
the fireplace as well.
yes.
Fireplace has been demolished. Let's get it on. With cheese in your sausage or not? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been episode 2. Make sure to subscribe along to see the next video, where we should have the wall down, the staircase in, and maybe even the windows and doors. So see you on the next one. Cheese in your sausage or not?